Hello and welcome to COVID Conversations here on WNCU 90.7 FM. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm your host, Kimberley Cartwright. I'm the News and Public Affairs Director at WNCU, and we're using the platform here on Zoom to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting our world now. Black farmers in America suffered greatly over the last century, and even until today. 12 million acres of farmland have been lost, most notably in 1950. Black farmers say it's a combination of systemic racism, biased government policy, and social and business practices that have denied African Americans equitable access to markets. And on top of all of that, here comes COVID. And we'll talk today about the hardships of being a Black farmer today with my guest, Kamal. He is the founder of Sankofa Farms in Orange County, North Carolina. Hello and welcome to the show today.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing great. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you as well.
Yeah, spring, brand new beginnings. So how's it going with the tilling?
Everything is going well. We're getting the ground ready, and we're actually building new structures on the farm as well to expand our operations. So everything is moving pretty quickly and swiftly at the farm.
Very good. So what does Sankofa mean?
Sankofa is a word that comes out of the Akan language of West Africa, and it's represented by an Adinkra symbol and also by a mythical bird. And it literally translates to go back and get it. And the way that I understand the word, the way that I teach the definition I teach our students, it means to remember your African ancestry as you move forward in life.
As a Black farmer, you're an anomaly in America. Can you just speak to that fact? Why is that so?
Yes, there aren't many Black farmers. The USDA statistics that recently came out, there are less than 50,000 Black farmers left. And I think that number is even lower just because of how they quantify what a Black farmer is. So we don't know if someone's parents farm and now the property's in the child's name, the child doesn't farm anymore, and they're counting them as a farmer. Or is it because they have a farm number? I don't know what parameters there are, but I would speculate that there are less than 50,000 Black farmers left in America. But when we look at agriculture, I like to look at it from a holistic perspective where we're African first. So in Africa, we have to look at what systems we developed already. And it's well documented that we had very complex agricultural systems. And wherever we went, that's one of the first things that we did was set up an agricultural system so we can develop civilization. So when Europeans are trying to figure out how they're going to grow civilization, they end up realizing too that you need a food source. So it didn't work with the Native Americans. So then they start looking elsewhere and they come across us. And it's just like telling the story in a short, like paraphrasing the story. It's a lot of history. But then when we get brought over here, I think a lot that has happened with our perspective toward agriculture has because it's been dealt through their lens. We've been dealing with agriculture from their lens. So then you end up dealing with the USDA. The USDA has unfair lending practices, and they're starting to work on it to try to modify the system, but the damage has been done. So you look at not loading farmers to make up for losses of the following year. Look at subsidy programs. You look at the youth education component of it, where you have organizations like 4-H and Future Farmers of America who don't have structures that support Black students. So then you look at in 1965, when the FFA, which is a predominantly white farming organization, it stands for Future Farmers of America. They merged with the New Farmers of America, which is a Black farming organization. There were 50,000 Black boys in this organization, but when they merged with the New Farmers of America, the Future Farmers of America, the leadership dwindled. So you look at instances like this, then you look at white terror and white tyranny, where Black farmers start to become competitive, the lynching spike in these areas. So when you just look at these instances, you have to realize that it's not just the USDA. It's this aggression and approach to Black people in agriculture is ingrained into the system. So you look at a lot of agricultural organizations, they're just now starting to be able to talk about equity. it's a very hostile environment going in as a Black person into agriculture because it's a predominantly white field.
So tell me how COVID-19 has affected what you do on your farm.
COVID-19 has actually caused us to have to ramp up our production. So we now have, so just to give people like a picture, we have greenhouses on the farm and we have 4 of these at the moment. And each one holds a 30-inch by 100-foot row. So you can fit 4 of these rows into each house. Before COVID, we were probably selling food from so we have a total of 16 rows. But before COVID, we're probably selling food off of maybe 8. Now we're getting at the point where all 16 have to be full of food because demand is just so high, and we're adding more structures to the farm to meet the demand. So our demand has skyrocketed. But to keep this in perspective, this hasn't been a story for many Black farmers. This is just work for us. So a lot of Black farmers are struggling right now because they haven't been able to sell to the markets that were once open to them. And then you have regulations. So it's a lot that goes into this picture of how Black farmers have fared. So I would say that our story isn't the common story that's being perpetuated.
So it's really good to know that you're able to sustain and grow through this environment. And I right now want to talk about President Biden's stimulus relief package and how it would pay billions of dollars to disadvantaged farmers, benefiting Black farmers in a way that some experts say hasn't been seen since 1964. When you hear that, how does it feel? And have you been able to take advantage of what the president is proposing for Black farmers?
So with Biden's proposition, the regulations or the parameters around how the funding will be administered has not come down yet. So I don't know if I'll fit into the qualifications of the program or what, but I hope it helps. With the last stimulus bill, there was a number that came out that said 98% of the farmers who received funding through the last stimulus bill were white. And I think it was like less than 1% were Black. Well, we were in that 1%. I actually found out about the program through another Black farmer, and I was able to apply to get funding. And if it wasn't from him overhearing the conversation of white farmers having it at a farmer's market, I would not have known. So it's just one of those things where I know if we barely found out. I know for a fact that the data shows that many other Black farmers didn't know about it either. But the thing about it is, for that program, you have to submit a Schedule F in your income from the previous year. So this goes back to what I was saying about the parameters of how they classify a farmer. So you could be classified as a farmer on paper, but you don't have a Schedule F because the land is in your name and your parents farm and you don't farm anymore. You can't benefit from a program like that. So we need to find out how the USDA is really defining what a Black farmer is.
So if Black farmers are included in this package and there is some gain from it, would you consider something like this reparations for Black farmers?
No, only because of the damage it has created. We're like literally the top 5 white landowners own more land than all of the Black people in the United States put together. So we look at these type of numbers and discrepancies, and people have lost families. They've lost the ability to provide for themselves and their communities. We've lost infrastructure, and you look at all of that, and you look at the picture in the state of where we are. I wouldn't consider that reparations. That's something that's if all of a sudden the country wants to be moral, that's something that's old. And if we sit here and talk about the assistance that white farmers get, and compared to what they get and what we get, is night and day. So this could be a start in the conversation, but we want reparations. We're talking about infrastructure, and these programs necessarily aren't segues to Black farmers and Black people building and controlling resources and having spaces where we can then look at and develop our own systems and develop individuals that cater to helping us. So I think we're a long way from really talking about reparations. And
So
if
why
we're
would
really,
you, I'm sorry, go
and if
ahead.
we're talking about reparations, it needs to be something that's not just done one time. It needs to be something that's done very often. We work this country for 400 years for free, and then we're put into undue and unjust systems after that so-called system was abolished. So if this country wants to play the moral card, it's a whole lot more they need to be doing.
So why would you continue to do this under all of this pressure and circumstance?
Because Black people need it, and I that's solely why I farm. A lot of the conversation has been steered to like farming is like how we fight oppression, and my farming and what I do isn't based on um white people and how white supremacy affects me. That's not what I feel like. I would, if I was born in another part of the world, I would still strive to be a farmer because that would help my community. So nothing that we do is a reaction to the system. We happen just to be tackling issues that the system has caused.
Let's talk about your farm.
Mhm.
Okay, you're tilling the soil. So give me an overview of what it is that you do.
So at our farm, we raise bee colonies. Um, we have 28, and I'm actually on my way today after we get off to expand more. So we can easily end up at 50 beehives this year, easily. So we don't want to get there. We're gonna be selling bees this year, but I love bees. That's the thing that comes quick the best to me. We also have 4 greenhouses, and we raise lettuce, kale, collards, and mustard greens during the leafy green seasons, and then we also do watermelon, squash, tomatoes, okra, cowpeas. So we're doing all those different crops this year.
So you have experience working with young people
Mhm.
too. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
So when I taught at a school in Durham actually at one point, and I saw how the students gravitated toward agriculture, and I wanted the students to be able to benefit just outside of school, because if you're in school and you're away from like the things, like you're away from that environment that has like the troubles in it. So I saw that us being able to acquire a farm and teach the students the same thing on a larger scale would be very, very beneficial. So once that occurred, the students have worked for a couple amount of years, and now they're farm managers and they're on payroll. So it's a way just to show them the opportunities of farming, also show them the entrepreneurial, and it's also showing them, introducing them to ideas and careers that they potentially want to go into. And it's also showing them how to take control of their destiny. So my thing with the policies is that they're cool, and if they help, they help, but ultimately it's up to us to fix our own issues.
I want to talk some more about these bees.
Okay, okay.
I'm completely terrified by the notion of bees, but I was looking through like some of your information for research, and I saw the young people actually suiting up to go and work with the bees. So let's talk about why such a love for bees, and then even so much that it's not recreational, but you're expanding.
The students, 4 of the 6 students are certified beekeepers. So I'm certified as well. My wife's certified, and 4 of the young men are certified. We actually received some funding also to set up our own beekeeping certification. So we're gonna also be producing more beekeepers in-house and through Sankofa program that we create. The thing with the bees is that it's like a microcosm of life. Like you think about the structure and how they make decisions, it's all in a group effort. And if they want to survive, the only way that they can survive is if they work together. There's no individual bee. There's no such thing as an individual in a bee colony. There's no such thing as an individual in life. We should all be working together. And we should especially be working together in our communities. That's the only way we're going to ensure our longevity and our sustainability, is that we have love and we work for each other.
Phenomenal. We are running out of time. So how, if anyone wants to be in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can go to our website at sankofafarmsllc.com, and that's SANKOFA farms FARMS LLC LLC.com. And if you want to send me an email, sankofafarmsllc@gmail.com. So through those 2 links, those two pathways, you'll be able to get in contact with me if you so choose. And I hope people reach out and look at how they can support. And I just also like to reiterate to people that Sankofa is not a nonprofit. A lot of people ask, it's like, it's a nonprofit. No, we are a business. So if people are looking to contribute and through whether it's volunteering or monetary, like they can all do that. But I just let people know that so they aren't confused and call me and ask me the question.
Okay. Well, it has been my good pleasure to talk to you. And, Mother Nature has a part in this too. So good luck in your growing season for 2021. And I do appreciate your coming. I know that you're busy and taking your time to be with me today.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. And we want to thank you, audience, for watching via YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as listening to WNCU 90.7 FM. We want you to like us. We want you to follow us and subscribe to our pages to see more of our archived shows. I'm Kimberley Pierce Cartwright. Thanks for listening to COVID Conversation. Thank you again, Kamal.
No problem.
We'll see you all next time.